that has brought him up to 12%. I mean, so he cannot be beaten at 12%.
No, it's back. It's back on where we expected in the number, but it's going to be enough. The interesting thing here, just look at Cosgrove's vote again, and I just, I have to be to give this the credit where it's due. 463 full count 2019. She's almost doubled her vote. And more than likely will once these are all in and dusted. Like. That's from four something up to nearly 800 votes.
That's a great result for her. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a testament to the campaign she ran and the person she is, I think.
I think that's the best way of putting it. The campaign she ran, the person she is, and she has a lot of. Her name is recognised. People know who she is. They know what she stands for. And I know it sounds simple, but people need to know that in an election, who you are and what you stand for, and what you're likely to do. So, fair dues to her. That for her to win a seat where there wasn't a seat for the party.
I'm also going to look at here again, and I just don't want to glaze over it. I know it's an awful lot easier when you're a candidate on your own, as Neelan was. But Fergal came to this very, very late in terms of his selection. He was approached very, very late. He got his campaign together very, very late. He's the first-time candidate. Okay, his name is known. It's known on the doors, but he's the first-time candidate. And it looks as though he's going to be elected here today on his first time out. And I think, we can look at the town vote being back. We actually need to compare this probably with the 2020 general election vote in town. And it's quite comparable to that. Actually, it's going to be ahead of that. And given the fact that he had no run-up to this, he had no presence in the media, he had no presence in social media until he was actually selected about 3 or 4 months ago. I think this is a good out for a good day out for Neelan, and it'll be a happy day in the Neelan household, I think, at the end of this.
Do you think it's a good day out for Neelan and Fine Gael, John?
Well, you see, the strategy was to go for one seat, and that was let's be honest about it. Once you win the seat, whether you get 9% or 12%. Once you take a seat on the local authority, you're elected. So it's a win-win. The fact that he has the objective for getting one seat, he has won the one seat. Obviously, whether the vote could be higher or not, that's measureless. The fact he's elected as a councillor, and as Blaine said, first time out, new to politics. He had the name recognition, but he's a good candidate as well, and I think he'll do a sterling job on the council. He's one to watch for the future.
Yeah, and of course he has the pedigree, as we know. Ted was TD for quite some time.
Ted was quite a legend now.
It was interesting actually on the doors to hear in certain parts of town when I was out canvassing, the people resonated that, I knew your dad, or I knew the name. Now look, that mightn't have turned into a number one, but it might have been a 2 or 3 down the line.
But people love a connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
I knew your brother, your mother worked in such a place. That kind of thing. It gets accomplished.
Rosalind O'Grady was very good at the local element of that. She knew everybody.
Yes.
She had more than likely nursed them all at some stage in her career, and very, very confident to remind them of that. I was always amazed at her skill set at being able to basically touch every home in Ireland or every home in Sligo. So there is that element of it. But from Neelan's point of view, anyway, I think this is going to be a positive day, and okay, the vote is back, but
the vote is back.
Two votes, 2 candidates in Sligo Strandhill. We probably should have got 2 the last time out. He's ultimately done the job he's expected to do, and no doubt he'll kick on from here. He's very eager anyway. I know that for sure.
Right. Okay. Sorry, Marion. Yeah.
You don't want to look at any of the Leitrim boxes, Niall?
No.
Maybe you want to finish
means,
this one. I don't want to.
You mention it, because and we are broadcasting live from Leitrim, so we have a live audio feed, and I haven't had time to look at the Leitrim figures. So
I was just looking at the Ballymote local electoral area. The Sinn Féin vote is holding up at 29%, Fianna Fáil at 31%, Fine Gael at 27%. So it's interesting. It sort of mirrors the national vote. Green at 5%, which isn't bad, and Independents at 7%. But of course that comes down to the local candidate. It's early days yet as to say. I'm not actually sure. Is it 5 seats? I have to check that. But O'Rourke is doing very well.
6
seats.
6 in each, yeah.
Well, O'Rourke is doing very well, and McLone. They're the 2 front runners. There's 3 Sinn Féin candidates. Barry is heading it on 13%, and then you have two others on 9 and 7. So whether that translates into 2 seats or not, I don't know. O'Rourke is well ahead on 22, Pryor on 9, so that's quite a difference there. And then the other Fine Gael candidate is on 11. So, you know, they're closer, Madlone and Reynolds. So it's hard to tell yet where to go. Wynne is on 7%. So we'll have to look at transfers, but it's interesting. It mirrors the national poll. I did see something there. John had it. That,
John Comiskey tells us that Chris McManus is polling 15% in the Ballinamore area.
Which would be well down on the Sinn Féin vote there. Well, that's Ballinamore area. This is the whole local electoral area. Sinn Féin are on 29%. They have 3 candidates, but it will be interesting to see how many seats that will deliver at the end of the day. You know, is 3 too many? Would it be better to have run 2? But we can't judge that yet. But they're certainly in there with a good shout at the moment.
Right, okay.
Can I bring back just a Sligo Strantill, just another trend that's jumping out here? Obviously the national polling would indicate that Fianna Fáil are slightly back from Fine Gael and Sinn Féin, who are allegedly neck and neck.
Yeah.
You look at Sligo Strantill, we've got 1,000 votes roughly between Donnelly and Gibbons. We've 1,000 votes roughly for Neelan, which would indicate the two of them are actually neck and neck. And funnily enough, those who are supposed to be back, Fianna Fáil, once again are out-polling the pollsters with 12, 13, 14, 15, 1,600 votes. They seem to do it every time. Fianna Fáil at elections, they perform better than they do in the polls. But coming into this, I expected Sinn Féin to be an awful lot stronger. Given the position they have been in opposition, you know, I think they look at this 1,000 votes. They would have had a similar vote with one candidate the last time out, and they haven't really kicked on here in Sligo Strantill.
But you can't extrapolate that nationally because they're up against Bree and Gino. I mean, 2 very strong left-wing candidates. Sligo town in particular always tends to go a bit left. So I hear what you're saying, but you need to look elsewhere to see
I just see
if that pattern is...
Bree has increased his vote, and it seems to be at the expense of Gino slightly. But I just think, you know, nationally, I know we look at the local game here, that Sinn Féin were on 36% at one stage, and in Sligo Strantill here today we're just over 10%. I think it's interesting just to look at.
Yes.
I expected them to be stronger. If this is to be wearing out across the country, obviously there's different localities. There is different. I get that, and there'll be another independent in another area that's strong. I get all that, but it'll be just interesting to see. You know, has Sinn Féin kicked on, across the country? Because they need to be over 180 seats for that to be a success.
All right, stick with us. We're going to continue our conversations in relation to Sligo Strantill until we get the final 2 boxes, and then we'll have a final tally, and then we'll move on to Ballymote, Tubbercurry. Just to let you know where it is, with 2 boxes to go, percentage-wise, Declan Bree is on 19% of the vote, Nessa Cosgrove is on 10%, Pauline Donnelly on 4%, Finbar Phelan on 5%, Arthur Gibbons is on 9%, Johnny Gogan on 3%, Michael Kelly's on 2%, Seamus Kilgannon on 6%, Jim Lawler on 2%, Dermot McConville 0%, Tom McSherry's on 17%, Graham Monaghan is on 2%, Fergal Neelan on 12%, and Gino Boyle on 9%. And our experts are predicting the seats will go to Declan Bree, to Tom McSherry, to Nessa Cosgrove, to Gino Boyle, Fergal Neelan and Arthur Gibbons, and the quota, we're told, roughly around 1,190 votes. A reminder that on Correv Bioshock Corta ar Fol ar Buicas le Corlia Cunti Shrikuk, and we'll take a quick break. We're back with more from the Sligo Park Hotel in a couple of moments. Okay, just to give you the updated situation, we are awaiting still, I think, 2 more boxes. We have one box in. Yeah, so we're awaiting just 1 more box in the Sligo Strantilla electoral area before we can give you a final tally. These are accessible on our Ocean FM website, as you probably know. We're waiting for St Anne's Boot 4 tally, and that's now in. Right, John Perry.
Niall, you know what I mean? Fine Gael left a seat behind here.
You only had one candidate.
No, but we left a seat behind because there was, on the last 2019 election, right? There was in excess of 1,800 votes. 1,800. If you take what is fantastic for Fergal Needham to come in at the moment, and let him delighted for him. But we effectively have only got the vote that we're getting now at the moment is the same vote that one candidate got the last time. So we've left 900 votes behind. That's my opinion. There's a second seat that could have been won if the 2 candidates.
Yeah, but they couldn't find 2 candidates. They could barely find 1 candidate, as we know.
Well, it's a sad reflection when they couldn't find 2 candidates, but certainly left a seat behind here. I'm quite certain that if the 2 candidates ran 2 candidates, they would have elected 2 councillors here in Sligo Strantilla. I'm certain.
Okay, well, maybe that's for later playing. But is John Perry right? We haven't got 1 seat filled yet. We're leaving seats behind. But anyway.
Well, John has wisdom beyond my years because he's been minister in government and he sees many elections. Look, the vote is back. It's actually, I'm going to put up more of a positive spin on it. It's ahead of what it's going to be. It's ahead of what it was at in the general election. But I think we're overlooking the difficulty in trying to find candidates and I suppose families and jobs, etc., etc. Fergal has to go, change his job to make this happen. So it's not that harder to get candidates now. But the figures are that we're back about the same as what we have. So maybe John, I don't know. Maybe you're right.
Well, the figures speak for themselves.
Yeah.
1,800 plus votes the last time, and on the transfer, I think the transfer even comes out when we got the total transfers the last time over there.
I had switched off at that stage.
Yeah.
All the boots are in now.
Oh, the last one is in from Stranthill. Okay. So we have a final tally.
That's a big box. 161. Wow.
Okay.
That is a big box in Stranthill National School Boot 4. So
right. Okay. So we have the final tally in Sligo Stranthill. Jerry, would you like to read out the final numbers?
Okay, we have Bree on 1553, 19% of the vote. Cosgrove, Nessa is 857 with 10% of the vote. Pauline Donnelly, Sinn Féin, 325, 4% of the vote. Finbar Filan, 5% at 405 votes. Arthur Gibbons, 736 votes at 9%. Cogan, Green Party, 225 at 3%. Kelly, 187, 2% of the vote. Kilgallen, Fianna Fáil, 455 votes at 5%. Lawler, non-party, 125 votes, 1%. McConville, 30 votes, 0%. McSharry Tom, 1382 votes, 17%. Graham Monaghan, N2, 185 votes, 2%. Fergal Neelan, 1133 votes, 14%. And Gino O'Boyle, 744 at 9%.
Okay, and in numerical order, Declan Bree set to top the poll in Sligo Stranthill, 1,553 first preferences. Tom McSharry next, 1,382. Fergal Neelan and Fine Gael next up, 1,133. Nessa Cosgrove of the Labour Party, 857. Gino Boyle is on 744, people before profit. Arthur Gibbons on 736. And Seamus Kilgannon, I think, is next on 455. Followed by Finbar Filan, I make it on 405, and I'll come to some of the other candidates in due course. But the gap is too wide, as we were saying, John. The gap is too wide.
Oh no, well, you respect all the candidates that went, and you want to congratulate all of them that went. And obviously, but at this stage, it's very clear who the seats will be taken by.
Okay, as you outlined a while ago. Marion, you're nodding in agreement as well.
Well, look, the gap is very wide. I couldn't see it. I mean, it'll be interesting to see where, Finbar votes 405, but we know really with transfers they can go everywhere, Niall. Some go, he's independent, some will go back to party, some will go independent. But the difference between Seamus Kilgallen and Gitlins is too big to have any realistic hope that it could catch him, and similarly for Finbar.
What is Phelan back? Phelan is back from O'Boyle. He's 4.6. He's 300 back from O'Boyle, okay?
Yeah.
And then you've got Kilgallen very close there. So there's 300 votes between Phelan, Kilgallen and O'Boyle, say,
yeah.
okay? So
it's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
No.
But where